3, 2, 1. I was going to make a book review today, and then something sort of happened, so I'm going to start this out as a sort of mini book review and then lead into what I actually want to talk about. So I said at the start of the year I was going to try and do more book reviews and try and use that as an encouragement to start reading again. It's not gone massively to plan, as you've probably noticed. There's only been one book review so far this year, and it's May. So I finally finished a book. This is The Monstrous Child. It's by Francesca Simon, the author of the Horrid Henry series, which is a kids' book series, and this is a young adult book. However, this is one of those books that, as I was reading it, I was waiting for it to get good, and it just never really happened. And normally, when that's sort of happening, I give up on a book, whereas I felt like it was leading to something constantly, so I stuck with it, and got to the end, and it just sort of ended. So this book's from the perspective of Hel, who is the Norse god of the underworld, and she is a teenager forever, basically. Half her body is a corpse. That's why she is the monstrous child. Potentially, this could be very interesting. However, this whole book doesn't go anywhere. There's no real plot. It's just a series of events that happen. There's no character development. There's no meaning or purpose to anything. Things just happen and then the story stops. Lots of characters wander in and wander out with no real reason, and I was just generally left a bit perplexed. So this morning I thought, right, I shall make a video about this book. It'll be quite refreshing to be able to review something and not just be praising it constantly, as normally if I'm not enjoying something I don't stick with it. So this might make for an interesting video. And I thought maybe I'll give this book the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it's in the young adult, but it's more at the younger end of that kind of teenage, more the 13-year-old than the 17-year-old. Maybe that's why I didn't really get on with it. Maybe it is a more simplistic book. So I thought, just Google it, see what I can find online. If there's anything that I can, help to understand this book a bit better. I went onto Goodreads, I clicked onto the book, and then I discovered this is the third book in a series. So I went back to this book and I was trying to work out how I'd missed this information. How did I not know that there were 2 books preceding this that would have given it context and made things make sense? And there is nothing. There is nothing anywhere in this book to indicate that this is not the first book in a series or something. It's just, there is nothing. There is nothing. The blurb on the back doesn't indicate, it doesn't say the sequel, the conclusion, nothing like that. The only information that you have that would lead in any way to this conclusion is this page at the start of the book, which lists the author's other books. You will notice the majority of this is the Horrid Henry series, which completely dwarfs the very small section of there saying The Lost Gods and The Sleeping Army, which say they're also by Francesca Simon. However, they don't indicate that this is a series, it's just also by, and they're kind of, maybe you might conclude, The Lost Gods, maybe that's to do with this book, but The Sleeping Army, that doesn't sound like it's anything to do with gods necessarily. And there's no indication that those became before this book. Why? So it turns out the first book in the series is about a human in the modern world, but the Norse gods are still a thing that are worshipped and the gods are dying, and she has to travel to Hel to save the gods, basically, is the story of the first book. And this character comes into this book, has a little cameo, is one of the wanders in and wanders out without having really contributed to any plot development other than an event just happened. And obviously that would have made so much more sense had I followed her story for 2 freaking books. As it was, it just seemed really pointless. So really what I want to say is this. Dear book publishers, could you please take a little field trip to your local comic book store, or even a Waterstones or a similar bookshop, because a lot of them sell manga. Go to the manga section and take a little look at the shelves. What do you see? Because what I see is a load of book series. And do you know what they all have on the spine? A big freaking number.